The Forging of Excalibur. The forge burned hotter than ever before, flames twisting and dancing as if alive, and in the heart of it a blade was being shaped, one that would change the fate of an entire kingdom. A kingdom on the brink of destruction. It was a time of deep division. The kingdom of Arendelle had fractured into warring factions, each led by lords whose greed and hatred turned brother against brother. But in the deepest corners of the ancient lands, where the very fabric of the world hummed with magic, something extraordinary was about to happen. A legend would be born, a weapon forged not just with steel, but with magic itself. At the heart of the kingdom stood an old mountain, forgotten by all but the most daring. Its blackened stone was said to hold the power of the earth itself, a power that had been buried for centuries. It was here, in the shadow of this mountain, that the last hope for Arendelle was being crafted. A solitary figure stood at the forge, an ancient smith known only as Galen, whose hands had shaped countless swords, but none like this. He knew what was at stake. He felt it in his bones. The kingdom's future rested upon this blade. But more than that, it was a symbol of unity, of hope, of a chance for redemption. Galen's hands trembled as he took the molten metal, watching it flow like liquid fire. The flames in the forge seemed to bend to his will as he infused the steel with the essence of the mountain. Magic, old and powerful, swirled around the sword, imbuing it with the power to heal or destroy. And with every strike of his hammer, the kingdom's fate seemed to shift. But as the blade took shape, so too did a shadow. A dark force, ancient and twisted, sought to claim the sword for its own. It whispered in the wind, in the flames, urging Galen to give in to its power. It promised him glory, immortality, but only if he forsook the blade's true purpose, to unite, not to conquer. The hammer fell again, and again. Galen's sweat mixed with the sparks that flew into the air, his strength fading with each strike. The sword was nearly complete, but the darkness grew louder, closer. He could feel it, clawing at the edge of his mind. And then a voice, young, but filled with unshakable determination, cut through the dark whispers. "Father, you cannot let it take you." Galen looked up, startled, his heart catching in his chest. Standing in the doorway of the forge was his son, a boy no older than 16, but with eyes that carried the weight of the world. "I won't," Galen said, his voice raw with emotion. He set the hammer down, the last strike echoing through the chamber like a call to arms. "This sword is for the future. It is for Arendelle." With one final breath, Galen poured his heart and soul into the last incantation, his voice barely a whisper against the growing storm. The blade glowed brighter than the sun, and with a single strike, it was done. Excalibur, the sword forged in the heart of the mountain, pulsed with life. It was more than just a weapon, it was the spark that would reignite hope. Galen's son stepped forward, his eyes wide with awe. "What will you do now, father?" Galen's weary gaze softened as he looked at the sword, its magic now complete. "We fight," he said, voice steady but filled with hope. "We unite." And in that moment, the kingdom of Arendelle was forever changed. The sword would be carried to the fractured lords, each lord bound by honor, forced to either take up the sword and swear allegiance to the kingdom or perish beneath its power. Excalibur would become a legend, but not just for its might. It would be remembered as the symbol of a kingdom brought back together, not through force, but through the will to hope, to heal, to fight for something greater than oneself. The flames in the forge flickered out, the room bathed in the quiet glow of the completed blade. If this story resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment below to help the channel grow.